Hello, my name is Ajay Rajesh. I'm from team number 6 and welcome to our presentation of the Puglia Winery case. Let me start off by introducing my teammates. First up, we have Prajwal Bhairappa, who was the data modeler. I myself Ajay and Akash Vaidya were the data analysts. And we have Eric Chan, who was the data engineer, and Victor Herrera, who was the data architect. So these are the table of contents we are going to cover through in this presentation. I myself will cover the overview part of it and will be handing over to my teammates for the next sections. And yeah, so regarding the overview part of it, first up, we'll have to go over the company overview. So in the company overview, we have like the Puglia Winery is a medium-sized boutique winery located in Temecula, California. They specialize in hot climate wines and produce three varieties: Pinot Noir, Merlot, and Pinot Grigio. Uh, Puglia Winery production sales have grown dramatically in the last 3 years. Next up, we have the business problems. Uh, it consists of four bulletin points. Um, First up is that we cannot predict the production volume. Second is that we are not able to identify key customers as the data is centralized. Third point covers that the gut field decision-making process. This approach involves an abundance of risk as the company grows. The last point says that we have to have two separate operational models. That is this production system and the merchant sales system, which is not centralized. Next up, we have the project goals. The three business problems that should be addressed by data warehouse solution is capable of the following. The goal one says that the goal one suggests the insight into the product's profitability. It suggests that the capability of generating reports that provide insights into a product's profitability. Second, the goal number two suggests the goal number two is mainly about identifying the key customers. The system should identify the key customers, which assist the Puglia winery management in understanding the purchasing patterns and build solid relationship with the key customers. Goal three suggests the analyzation of the market availability. This is also another essential feature that analyzes the market profitability, prioritize their distribution strategies in the market. Um, Next up, we have the current analytical capabilities. In the current analytical capabilities, where the data is sourced from two separate systems, the production and the merchant sales system, um, which makes it challenging to decide on whether product profitability and predict the seasonal demand and sales from the key customers. So in order to address these current gaps, our team members will implement a data warehouse solution by integrating the data from the existing operational system to facilitate the decision making. And next up, we have the business process, the high-level enterprise data warehouse bus metrics, in which consists of multiple business processes or events, and followed by the attributes such as time, product, production, warehouse, organization, sales, and customers. Um, yeah, so business processes such as uh, packaging, quality check, wine aging, shipping are very essential for the winery management. Yeah, so that's it regarding my part of the presentation, and I'll be handing over to Akash Vaidya to explain the.
Hello, my name is Akash Vaidya, and I will be discussing the functionality and features. For the key performance indicators, or KPIs, we look at the following, starting with product profitability. Based on each product produced by a Puglia winery, such as Pinot Noir, Merlot, and Pinot Grigio, we analyze the sales and revenue generated, determine the profit margin by considering the cost of production, and identify which of the products is more profitable. Secondly, market profitability and expansion. In the Puglia winery, most sales come from customers and wine merchants in California, the rest of the United States, and the United Kingdom. By identifying each region's product and sales and revenue generated for each month, quarterly, and annually, the company can focus on a specific region where it can make more profit. And lastly, key customers acquisition and retention. By utilizing the same metrics such as sales volume and revenue generated by each merchant, The company can identify the key customers, such as the wine merchants, providing them with more responsibility and incentive. We will now go to the next slide. For the reporting functionality, we look at the various reports, starting with Sales Performance Report. This report will provide an overview of all wine product sales with their units and margins over different periods. By analyzing the profit margins and determining which wine product has a high profit margin, deciding on product volume and development. Next, Customer Analysis Report. This report will provide insight into key customers and merchant behaviors, preferences, and contributions to overall sales and company growth. Next is the Market Analysis Report. Among the three markets, the report will analyze sales volume, profit generated, and purchasing patterns where management can decide on marketing, expansion, and the target customers. The next report is Product Cost Analysis. This report will provide valuable insight into grapes production, processing, labor, packaging, and shipping costs for each wine type the company produces. And lastly, the Sales Forecasting Report. Based on the historical sales made during the different seasons and regions, forecasting future sales trends will help the company manage demands. We will now go to the next slide. We have categorized the business users and reports to the following. Starting with end users. The end users will consist of the business sponsors, the business owner, Managing Director Jack Gillespie, Sales Manager Steve Siciliano, as well as other key members. Secondly, delivery methods would include email, web access, the end user desktop, the fax machine, and the printer. Third, the report frequency would range from monthly to annually or based on the event scheduling. Lastly, the reporting format would include PDFs, spreadsheet, database tables, and HTML. We will now have Victor discuss data model in the next slide.
Thank you, Akash. My name is Victor Herrera, and I will be talking about data models. Data model implemented. Product data model. Focus on various products sold by the winery, include historical production, and data assesses the sales trends and each product's profitability. Customer data model. Centralize data on merchants who purchase products, identify key customers contributing to the business's growth. Market data model. It's related to wine sales across different markets and identifies the most profitable market and makes strategic decisions. Time data model. Mainly implemented for the representation of periods, includes time periods like autumn, winter, spring, and fall. Star schema table. As you could see, all these tables are connected to one another through fact tables. There are two fact tables, the sales fact table and the production fact table. They contain foreign keys and a few column rows, and by the customer dimension containing customer information, a primary key connects to the sales fact table. When it comes to the product dimension, there is a primary key that connects to both production fact table and the sales fact table and has product information. The market dimension only connects to the sales fact table with market information, and the date dimension connects to both the sales fact table and the production fact table and has date information. Justification for the model type. Simplicity and understandability. The star schema is easy to understand and business user-friendly, which can be understood by a wide range of stakeholders in the organization. Flexibility and scalability. The star schema is flexible in adding data over time, like new dimensions or attributes, as winery business is growing and requires scalability as they expand to new regions and increase their customer base. Business intelligence tool compatibility and performance. The BI tool acts as leverage for the business user in the Puglia winery to generate reports, front-end interfaces like portals, dashboards, and graphical visualizations of the data presentation for the end user. Snowflaking may not be necessary. In Snowflake, each dimension is normalized and broken down into multiple tables. As per the current business model by Puglia Winery, snowflaking may not be necessary because the process is mainly focusing on simplicity and ease of understanding for simplified queries, quick performance, and reporting capability. Slow changing dimensions. Over the past 3 years, growth achieved by Puglia Winery is more likely that some of the dimension attributes, like products and customers, have been changing over time. These are the historical changes which are slowly changing, like for the following instances. By using the slow changing dimensions, type 2 can capture the historical changes in SCD by maintaining a separate record for each version, like adding a new row and a few columns. Fast changing dimensions, FCD. These are attributes that change frequently and also don't require historical tracking. In the case for Puglia Winery, there is unlikely that there will be FCDs, and if in case there are any in the future, we can overwrite the previous values with the latest updates. Thank you for your time. Our next speaker will be Eric.
Hello, my name is Eric Chan, and I'll be discussing the data analysis portion of our presentation. On this slide, I'll be discussing the data availability and appropriateness. First, data availability. Based on the data provided by the winery's management, current information systems have the following data sets for analysis. Our first data set is from the production system data. This system is running on a Windows-based computer with an Oracle database and has the following tables. 1. A product table which contains information about products sold by the winery, and 2. A production history table which contains information about the year of production, production volume, and cost per dozen for each wine product. Moving over to our second data set, the merchant sales system data. This system is currently running on a Windows-based computer with an SQL Server database with customer, product, sales order, and sales order line tables, sales-related information. These two data sources are appropriate because first, the data is sourced from the production system, which contains the historical wine production volume, which is essential to determine the product's profitability for each year and pricing for upcoming seasons. The second data set is from the merchant sales system, which has sales-related information necessary to analyze the high-selling and low-selling merchants, their profitability, and their performance in different regions or markets. In order to ensure that the data is clean, we will introduce data cleansing, as indicated in the case, sample data incomplete. In their respective tables, the provided data is incomplete. Data cleansing must fill out the missing details before utilizing the data or analysis to ensure data accuracy and consistency. We have several measures of interest depending on our data source. For our first data source, production system, we have two measures of interest. First being cost, the average cost of production per dozen bottles. 2, product profitability, which is the production volume by year, is analyzed as the highest profit product. And for our second data source, merchant sales systems, we have several measures of interest, which include dollar sales, the total revenue generated from selling products. 2, unit sales, the total sales by dozen bottles for specific products sold to the merchant. 3, margin, which is the difference between the dollar sales and the cost of producing a specific product. 4, key customers, which will be able to identify the merchants who have a significant contribution to our profitability and sales. Closely, market profitability, which will identify the most profitable market. And lastly, time periods, which will identify the specific time frames, either year, season, or month to analyze trends and performance over that given period. Moving over to a different section, section 5, I'll be discussing the ETL process and issues. We have identified 5 key ETL issues. First, the winery has 2 separate information systems, as previously discussed. In order to mitigate this issue, we'll integrate both information systems. 2, it's the different formats of data. In order to mitigate this, we'll go ahead and conduct validity checks and data cleansing to ensure consistency and remove errors. Third, it's the inconsistent gut feeling decision making. We want to mitigate this by leveraging data analytics and business intelligence for better informed decisions. Fourth, the growing business and the influx of data volume and user input as a result of more business to ensure that we'll ensure that the data warehouse solution is scalable to handle increased data volume and user input. Lastly, it's the customer data and sales information pose a significant risk to privacy due to the business collecting names, addresses, and credit card information. The system will implement user access controls, encryption, and regulatory compliance to protect customer information. In order to mitigate some of the scheduling issues, we've introduced 4 key solutions. First, when it comes to data extraction, we'll extract data when the source systems are least active to minimize disruption. 2, data loading. We'll load data during off-peak hours to avoid impacting user experience. Third, frequency. We'll determine the appropriate data refresh rate based on business needs, daily, weekly, or monthly. And lastly, real-time or near real-time loading. We'll assess the need for real-time updates based on business requirements and data freshness needs. With that being said, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Praj. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. My name is Prajwal. I'll be going over the architecture part of a project. Based on the requirement for the data warehouse solution, our team is proposing using Amazon Web Services to integrate the current information system and provide a better insight on information and reports for better decision making for the organization. The following is the justification for using AWS services for a project. Firstly, the cost effectiveness, where the AWS provides pricing model such as pay-as-you-go, where the winery has to pay only for the resources they're using and avoid the high upfront cost. And secondly, scalability. As winery is growing over the past 3 years, AWS provide easily scalable solution for data warehouse storage as the company goes in the coming future years. And thirdly, fully managed services, where the winery is a small business with its limited IT resources. The AWS provide fully managed various services for handling the company infrastructure, maintenance, and updates. Here is the recommended architecture for our project. Here we have the source system. Next we have the ETL process, storage and backup, which takes place in the back room, and in the front room where end user can visualize the data. In the source system, the winery has 2 operating systems, which is the production system and the merchant sales system, where data will be sourced from, where the production system has the Oracle database, where merchant sales has the SQL Server database. In the back room consists of ETL system, where data is extracted, cleansed, confirmed, and delivered. It also has a storage, security, and governance for the data warehouse. And next, in the front room, where data will be queried directly, and a business intelligence service, which is like that dashboard, which enables the end user to create interactive report, visualization, or graphics for the business user. Let's go over the backroom services, which is provided by AWS. The AWS Data Migration Service, that is DMS, is a service that helps to extract data from the source system, where it uses Oracle Log Miner for change data capture to extract data from the production system, whereas Oracle database and uses full load method for extraction of data from the merchant sales system, which has SQL Server. Nextly, the AWS Glue. This service provides fully managed data ETL jobs such as extraction, cleaning, enriching, transforming the data as per the business requirement. The AWS Glue is also serverless. And the Amazon S3 Glacier, it's a simple storage service act as a staging area for a project. The S3 Glacier will serve as a storage location for the data processed till the loading process has been requested. And also, the archival storage provides access for the data which is infrequently used for months and years, which helps winery to view historical data as per the requirement. Nextly, the security and governance. The AWS CloudWatch or the Security Hub will monitor the service, ensuring the performance and security of the infrastructure. It will continuously manage the end user accounts for any suspicious or data leak. This tool is critical as the business grows in the coming years and more vital information is stored in the system. In the front room services, the AWS Redshift, it integrates with Amazon S3 where data can be queried directly from the data lake instead of loading them into Redshift initially. It also gives multiple loading options such as bulk loading, data stream, and direct query. Next, the AWS QuickSight, a business intelligence service which enables the end user to create interactive reports, visualization, and graphical dashboard. The data visualization include the charts, the graph, and reporting table for the winery to identify the key customers, sales trends, and high performance market. Let's go over the future recommendation and conclusion. For the future recommendation, in order to maximize the benefits and drive the business forward, here are the key recommendations. Inventory plays a vital role in the drink industry, and it will be feasible to develop an inventory management system that can be added to the existing data warehouse proposal which is given by our team, which helps to predict demand and also reduce waste. Nextly, integration with other systems such as CRM tools and accounting software, which will be a one-stop view for the business and streamline the process. Lastly, continuous improvement is the key for better performance, which identify the area of improvement and enhance resource utilization by the data warehouse. To conclude, implementing the data warehouse solution for the winery will be a significant step towards enhancing their capability. The architecture is crafted for changing business needs and for the future growth of the company. Importantly, it gives a competitive advantage in the market and it will give one step ahead of the competition in the industry. Here are the references which we used for project. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please contact us below.